8 miles east of Elmina Castle, on Ghana's west coast, waves come crashing over the shore, where dozens of fishermen tirelessly pull in their nets. Knee-deep in water, these men trap fish in the very same sea where vessels once waited to gather human cargo. Another of Ghana's great castles, Cape Coast Castle, is smaller than its neighbor, but still played a major role in the transatlantic slave trade. It was built in 1653 by Sweden, before shifting to Danish, Dutch, and then English possession, where the British remained in control until 1957. It initially served as a trading post for gold, wood, and textiles, before English merchants delved into the transatlantic slave trade and expanded the castle.
Most of those structures were built with slave labor. They were built not necessarily to keep the enslaved peoples, because the enslaved peoples were transported inland to work in the mines, to work on plantations, growing cotton, coffee, tobacco, sugarcane, etc., etc. But they were used in constructing those structures, and the structures are so similar. And the similarity has to do with the fact that the blueprint for these slave forts, castles, and dungeons came from Europe, medieval Europe.
Like Elmina, Cape Coast Castle also shackled and housed enslaved Africans in poorly ventilated dungeons where prisoners waited for months in captivity before being shipped off to the New World. The castle also served as a hub for local laborers, brought in to help facilitate the slave trade. This, at times, led to liaisons between European men and African women.
I'm very much interested in stories that one can excavate around the slave forts, castles, and dungeons. And it is the proliferation of people with, or Ghanaians with, Dutch names, Danish names, English names, Portuguese names all along our coast. During the time of the slave trade, there was a point when liaisons or sexual liaisons between Europeans and Africans were banned by law. Now, here on the Gold Coast, any child that was born out of that union, or any woman who became pregnant and was in the castle, was taken out of the castle and kept at a specific place in town. And when they gave birth, the children of such unions were the first people to receive education in the castles, what we call the castle schools. If you look into our history, the people of mixed parentage have a certain class and status, and it is part of that has to do with this early connection with Western education.
Interracial relationships were common along the coast here during that era. In fact, near the Elmina Castle, Kwamina de Bort's family can trace their lineage back to the Dutch, which controlled Elmina Castle for 235 years before the English took over.
The origin of our family name dates back to my great-grandfather. He became friends with a Dutch citizen named de Bortz, to whom he gave his sister away as a wife.
De Bort's family home has been situated in Elmina for more than 150 years. This is just one of the relics to be found here.
History has it that whenever there was a big event such as a wedding, there was only one place for the bride to be dressed up. And it was in this house because we had a very big mirror. That was what my grandmother would use when styling the bride. Over time, we still run the business.
But now, the mainstay of Elmina is fishing. Today, the marketplace bustles with energy. It's a sign that Ghanaian culture is strong and alive. The Dutch slave trade came to an end in 1814. In 1957, when Ghana gained its independence, the nation took over Elmina Castle, and Cape Coast Castle transformed into a museum and national monument. While these castles are remnants of the terror that happened here centuries ago, they also serve as a reminder to never forget.
We should be more serious with our history as a country, because knowing who we are is very important in knowing where we're going. And knowing who we are strengthens us, arms us, and helps us to navigate the challenges of the future.
There was sadness, there was joy, there was regret. I thought about the inhumane things that were done to my ancestors and how they were shackled and chained in these dang dark dungeons, no sanitation, no water, not even enough space to lie down, you know. And I could just imagine, I touched the wall and I just felt this connection. But I was glad to be there. They were calling me. I needed to come back. I needed to acknowledge their sacrifices that they made, because without their sacrifice, I wouldn't even be here today.